What up, what the deal, everybody? You are back in the building with another episode of 2Rich2Miss Unscripted. Today is Wednesday, midweek, October the 21st. We got an exciting show for you today, as we will be going to, as usual, looking at the markets. And as you can see, everything is in green and the big boy Bitcoin is doing its thing, right? All right, so we'll be definitely talking about and going over the markets. We will be talking about DeFi, which will obviously lead us into our first article, which is something that guess who's been talking about? Guess who's been talking about that? You know him. And we'll also be going through and talking about Bitcoin and what's happening right now. As you can see with the title of this particular video, breakout or fake out. We shall see. It looks like it might be a breakout right now. And we will be going through talking about this article that came out earlier today about PayPal to enable Bitcoin and crypto purchasing and selling. We never saw that coming, did we? With my sarcastic face and my sarcastic voice. And then also we will be talking about Ethereum. And we got Ethereum 2.0. They've been talking about it for a while. Well, if we actually get it, oh my God, Ethereum, once that comes out, Ethereum is going to really going to take a charge and bounce up as well. So let's, we got a lot going on. Let's get into our Black Business shout out, and we will get into today's show. The only real color that matters is green, just like the chart and just like my shirt. Let's get it. Welcome to 2Rich2Miss Unscripted with your host, the Southern Urban Voice, Mr. 2Rich. And this show is about providing you with cryptocurrency and digital asset news, education, and tips that you can use as you take this wild and exciting journey into crypto. And as always, remember, the only real color that matters is green. Let's get it. Black business shout outs from the 2Rich2Miss Unscripted YouTube show. Whatever your podcast and whatever flavor, genre, or mood you're looking for, I have got the perfect podcast intro for you. Respect the streets. Down, set, time out podcast. The Dedicated 24 podcast. This is the Pod Behavior Podcast with the Spoken Word Poetry Podcast. Be sure to click on the link that's in the description and get your order placed today. Hint, hint, it's a great deal going down on Fiverr.com/RichardHawks2. Let's get it. All right, welcome back to the show. Let's go and hop right into the markets. As we can see here, breakout or fake out. We got a good little breakout going right now. The Bitcoin, the big boy Bitcoin is running hard right about now. We are up about 7% today, which is, I mean, that's a wonderful thing. It's always good to be up 7%, especially for Bitcoin. We've been taking a slow and steady climb up. And as I've always told you, and what I always say here, DCA is the way. When your dollar cost averaging in on all of those red days, if you were DCAing in on all of those red days, or on some of those red days that I've been talking about earlier, when things start to pump like today, then your portfolio starts to look really good, and then you start to see those gains start to stack up. Ethereum is still doing what it needs to do as well, slowly creeping up. And when Bitcoin runs first, Ethereum runs second. And then we'll have altcoins, and we got some altcoins that are in the green today as well. So not too much red on the market. It's a wonderful day when the market is in the green, because all of those days when you were DCAing in on the red days and when you were buying those dips, this is when you start to see that portfolio and the benefit of doing all of that, right? Let's get over and look at what's going on in the DeFi market. According to DeFi Pulse right now, total value locked in the DeFi space right now is only about 11. It's still at 11.27 billion. Kind of sideways action. We're still going in the right direction. A lot happening over here in the DeFi space. And just like I was telling you guys, DYOR. Do your own research into this DeFi space. And the reason why is it takes us right into our first article that we're going to be talking about. Mainstream adoption of DeFi and DLT, which is distributed ledger technology, is coming. It will replace banks, says U.S. currency comptroller. Now, and you know how I do here. A lot of times we don't go through and read a lot of these articles because, quite frankly, the information is really self-explanatory, and the articles are also on my Twitter feed as well, 2Rich2Miss, and a lot of this stuff is really quite simple. I've been talking about these things, and I've been going over mentioning this stuff, and these articles from these other people are just going through kind of really coming back and confirming the things that I've been talking about. DeFi is going to be humongous. DeFi is going to be huge because it goes through and really it takes out that unnecessary nonsense and actually flows the money to us as the consumer. I like a few of these quotes that they got here in the article, and all of them really kind of sum it up here. We'll go through a couple of these. We see a future where decentralization is very likely an unstoppable force out there. It is. Decentralized networks, by definition, are cheaper, faster, and more resilient than any kind of centralized structure. We see this going on with Uniswap right now, and all of the Uniswap clones. And the decentralized exchanges. I mean, you can get on, swap your coins, swap your tokens, and keep it moving. You don't have to go through a whole lot of extra logging in. You open your browser, connect your MetaMask wallet, and click, and you're done. And you're in and out. You don't have to use, other than the gas fees, which will be resolved as the market increases and as the market grows and just kind of works out the kinks. But right now, at this particular point, Coinbase is finding out right now that that even these decentralized exchanges, they function a lot more and they do a lot more volume. It's easy to use. So absolutely. And then especially when it comes to banks, and when you get like about that much of an interest rate right about now, when it comes to a savings account, and you got DeFi over here easily getting 6 to 10 to 15%. Easily. Now, granted, you still got that impermanent loss issue. That impermanent loss thing really bothers me. And as the market grows and things balances out a little bit, that impermanent loss thing hopefully will get worked out. But as it sits right now, there's a lot of great stuff going on in DeFi. And as I've said, they're just going through reaffirming it. DeFi is definitely here to stay. And if I were you, I would be DYOR in the DeFi space. DYOR in the DeFi space. I mean, me personally, I'm an Ava Lend fan. I'm a Kava fan, so do your own research over there. One or two more of these. Human beings need financial services. They don't need banks. And that gets down to what I was just kind of mentioning. With DeFi and with the little that we actually get from banks, and the little need that we have to go to banks, it's inevitable, especially in a post Black Swan event situation and world. Everybody is looking for better, more efficient ways of doing things, and this is just technology is just going to do what it does. So it is possible for you to just go online and say, hey, listen, I've got $10,000 here and I'd like to earn 5%. the algorithm will find someone who does, and all of a sudden there's no longer a value in the bank aggregating all of that money together. And they don't hold all of that money together anyway. Fractional reserve lending, guys. Fractional reserve lending. Now, and then, of course, the CBDCs, like we've been talking about, will CBDCs be a part of the new digital economy? The stance adopted by the U.S. acting comptroller of the currency comes at a time when central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, have been the buzz among countries that have tried to keep in stride with the digital revolution at hand. You know, long story short, they're going to coexist at the moment. Decent, because CBDCs are going to be the next way that they really go through and get in our pockets and try to really exercise that extra level of control that they want to have over us. So the time now is to be learning about DeFi, to be learning about Bitcoin, to be getting into the cryptocurrency space so that you can really understand the difference and understand how to transact on the other side. Because there is going to be two systems. There's going to be the cryptocurrency system, what is growing and developing now. And then there is going to still be, and then there's going to be the CBDCs. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So the time is now for you to dig in and learn now and go on and get on board this train. Now, let's press on with our next article. And this article just kind of goes in to talk about what I've been saying about the price of Bitcoin. There's just been a lot that's been happening in the world of Bitcoin, and there's been a lot of institutional money that's been going through buying this stuff. And that kind of gets to what the last episode I was talking about yesterday with supply shock. It is what it is. I mean, there's only a limited supply. There's only a limited supply that's being minted. So the supply shock is definitely a real thing, especially when you have people like these investment firms going through and putting a part of their money into it as well. So it just further goes along to reiterate. If you want to go through, read the article is really good. But this just kind of goes through to reiterate what I've been already talking about with Bitcoin. And as the smart money and the rest of the world is starting to understand what's going on, the retail investor is going to be the one that's late to the party. Unless, of course, you're listening to this channel and you're one of those 95% and you're in that 95% of people that watch my videos and have not subscribed to the channel. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notification bell. We are here every day, Monday through Friday, bringing you cryptocurrency news that you can use. And we're bringing you our interview on the weekends with real people doing real things. So I was about to give away this weekend's interview. It's just the time now. The time is now. The time is now. The time is now. So as you got more people doing this, come on over to the channel, check it out. And if you listen to me, you already know what's going on over here, or you're trying to learn. Let's move on to our next article. And this one, if you've been if you've been listening to me and you've been following the channel and you're in those people that haven't subscribed just yet but check me out, then you definitely saw this coming. We've been talking about this, and I've been mentioning this in some of the previous episodes with everybody else that's doing what's coming in. And when Square came in, we already knew that PayPal was going to be getting into the game. So all this article is talking about in the first going into 2021, coming up going into 2021, this is going to be something we can do on our wallets. Well, in the not on our wallets, in the PayPal app. So PayPal to enable Bitcoin and crypto purchasing and selling. Oh yeah, mass adoption is on the way, because the easier it is for people to get their hands on Bitcoin, the better off it's going to be. Now we're going to have to see if they're going to allow you to transfer it out to your own wallet, or if they're going to be doing a Robin Hood type of thing where you don't actually own your own Bitcoin, or are they going to be doing a Voyager type of thing where they hold a portion of your crypto and don't let you take everything off of the exchange. But either way, PayPal coming into the mix is going to be great for mass adoption, and obviously it's going to be great for the big boy Bitcoin. And if you're like me and you've been in this market for a while and you've been dollar cost averaging in, when you see these prices go up, it just and you see articles like this, it just further reaffirms that you need to keep on doing what you're doing. And when you're seeing the day in a bright deep green like it is today, that's definitely a time to be happy that you're DCAing in as well. But also do be mindful in the midst of all of this, and in the midst of all of the wonderful news of everything that's going on, the reason why I say DCA, and I don't want you to FOMO, fear of missing out. When you FOMO in, you come in too hot, too hard, and too heavy, and then you aren't able to sustain when the dips come. You want to always be buying the dips, obviously, and DCAing in, preferably on the dips, and not coming in buying when the market starts to climb, so that you can really be able to take advantage and your portfolio can grow through acquiring more when the price is cheaper, thereby reducing your cost, your average cost of your investment overall, which is going to help to maximize and give you a better return long term. And DCAing in is always the best way, because time in the market always beats attempting to timing the market. You feel me? And as I always say, the reason why the only real color that matters is green is because when your portfolio is up and your wealth is up and your financial wealth is on point and where it needs to be, it gives you more options to do more things. So I said all of that to say, be mindful that we could still see some dips along the way. We can still see some corrections and all of this other stuff, depending on what you want to call it. But if you have a long-term investment horizon, everything will be fine. This is just par for the course. It's still going where it needs to go. Just might have a few bumps along the way as well. Now, also speaking of the big boy Bitcoin, when the big boy Bitcoin goes up, Ethereum is not too far behind. And with all of the wonderful things that's happening right now, Ethereum has a ton of stuff built on top of it. And Ethereum going to layer 2 is going to be magnificent when it finally does come. And when it finally does come, there definitely will be some really good positive price action with that as well. Once again, as always, DYOR. Do your own research into this project. Dollar cost average into this project after you DYOR. Because, I mean, hey, it's been on a run. It has been on a run. I mean, if you were DCAing in on this before the Black Swan event, then you will be up greatly. Let's just look right here. Ethereum's price has gained around 170% this year, from under $140 to the $380 levels, which ETH is currently trading at right now, $386.60 to be exact, with the big boy Bitcoin at about $12,601 right now as of the recording of this video. Once Ethereum 2.0 finally does come up and hit, another reason why I say it's going to be a good price shock, a good price increase. Well, the fees are going to be lower because the network is going to work better. And on top of that, a bunch of this stuff is going to be locked up as well. So, and as this ETH is locked up, when more ETH is locked up, that takes that ETH out of the supply, and that makes the supply lower. When the supply gets lower, the price goes up, and ETH is still all over DeFi. I mean, you can't say DeFi without thinking about Ethereum. And then we got non-fungible tokens, all type of stuff is going on with Ethereum. So Ethereum is definitely here to stay. So the best time to go in on a hop in, DCA your way into the market, and especially with these big projects and the ones that are big platforms that are going to be here, that things are being built on top of and real things are being done. So in the midst of it all, we're going to leave it there. You know, I like to make these episodes kind of short and sweet for you. So as always, do support the Black business shout out, the Black business that we have for the shout outs, and be sure to like, share, subscribe. This is your Southern Urban Voice, the one and only Mr. 2Rich, the hottest voice in cryptocurrency, giving you all of the news and commentary on a daily basis, Monday through Friday, and interviews on the weekends. And as always, never forget, the only real color that matters is green. Peace.